Good morning. We are a minute early. Let's wait for others to join in. But yeah. So welcome to the episode 3 of the daily analysis that we do every day. We used to do it at 8 p.m. But now we changed it to 8 a.m. to accommodate global markets end. To understand how things actually ended at the end of the day. So welcome again to episode 3. And as you know already, that this is a sounding board. It's not like an advice to get into stocks or etc. But it's a sounding board. अगर आपको कुछ decision लेना है, before you take, you can just type in your comments, ask me, and I'm here to help you out to decode your decisions. So ठीक है, great. So let's start about this. Okay. So so in our first 2 days or our first two episodes of our market analysis, the market was really going down, and we were expecting कि कुछ तो turn हो कहीं ना कहीं से तो ये turn करके green में तो आए. So yesterday was our first day where we saw a massive green opening. और ये क्यों हुआ? उसका रीजन बहुत ही सिंपल था. The reason was simple because Iran war seemed like it is ending. So it felt कि Iran war is going to end because Donald Trump said कि we have mostly won. अब ये mostly won का क्या मतलब होता है ये नहीं पता, but the market took it in stride and said कि ठीक है, fair enough, they have mostly won, so no big deal, right? So we saw a massive green opening yesterday, and I have to ask you, and I covered it also, do you think it was a short covering rally or do you think it was a new bull market? Okay. So yesterday was just one time because it was based on some good news, but today's session is going to be very, very important because it's about validating कि कल का market, was it just a green signal or was it actually something, is it something that will work through or just a moment. So great work. So today's session is about validating if the Trump's peace signal is enough to override the high oil prices. Because generally, अगर आप देखो तो क्या हुआ है? Nothing has changed, right? There is nothing that has changed because what has happened is कि the Strait of Hormuz still remains blocked. Iran says we don't want your peace deal. Trump says we have most likely won. So ये most likely. So these are too many signals, and some of them are conflicting with each other. So we really don't know which one is working. But the way we have to look at today's market is that the market will validate if they want to absorb these signals in a positive manner. So अगर आज market आपको price action ऐसे दिखाता है कि it goes up, then you say कि चलो ठीक है, market is positively absorbing this news and hence there will not be a problem. So market thinks that in the long run the prices of oil will come down, there will be actual peace and Strait of Hormuz भी थोड़ा सा वो हो जाएगा, क्या बोलते हैं, free हो जाएगा. So let's strip the noise and find the floor. So Nifty yesterday opened nearly 1% gap up, okay, reclaiming 24,250. And this was a relief open following Trump's comment on war, Iran's war ending soon. So it was just a basic build-up of the sentiment overnight, okay. Sensex was up 0.82% at 78,206. So the market closed the Sensex closed at 0.82%, and Nifty also actually closed at 24,261, which is very close to where it actually opened. So it was almost a flat market. So the market closed off its intraday highs, but bulls were brave enough to keep buying, but they were not brave enough to break the 24,300 mark in fact they were not brave enough to keep this level because gift Nifty, if you see, had dropped down to below the market closure from yesterday. Okay. So Bank Nifty, again coming back to Bank Nifty, it settled at 56,950, which is plus 1.66%. It outperformed the main index, and financials are acting like a stabilizing force for the first time in a week because ultimately what was the big deal? The reason all the financials were going down was because of the oil price. They were all thinking because the oil is going to be directly causing the inflation, and the inflation will directly make sure that the interest rates do not really come down. Okay, so that is why the problem was that financials were crashing a lot last week. But this week, as we started, as soon as we realized that the oil price may not go up so much, so financials were a stabilizing force, and financials have been a stabilizing force throughout the year of this year. Cool. So, what was the driver? What were the actual drivers? The drivers were the deal with Iran. So Trump says कि भाई the markets are, no, sorry, the Trump said that the Iran war is almost over, and if they want to make a deal, okay, then they should let the Strait of Hormuz open. So वो अपनी तरफ से he is showing them कि भाई देखो there is a way to make a deal. Okay, what is Iran doing? Iran बोल रहा है भाई अपने high horse पे बैठा हुआ. Iran is saying देखो dude, we don't want a deal until you stop bombing us. Because last time when we tried to make a deal with you, you made a fool out of us, right? But what is the market thinking? The market is actually at this point of time front running a potential ceasefire. So ये तो आपने हमेशा देखा ही है कि as soon as the news turns positive, everybody in the market turns positive because they don't want to miss out on the rally when it actually happens. So there is a strong phenomenon. It's called sell the news or buy the news. So this is what is happening right now. The news is being traded and not the actual fundamental. What was the global driver to? The Brent crude plunged from $114 to almost $88 to $90. Now, what was the reason for that? The reason for that was that everybody, almost every nation, okay, all big guys, agreed to the fact that they will empty their strategic reserves, okay, to keep the price of the oil down. Because otherwise, if the price of oil goes up, then this becomes a really big problem for everybody. Okay, Iran का तो एजेंडा यही है कि भाई we will let the price go up. लेकिन there is a catch there. The strategic emergency reserves can only last for 20 days. Okay, that's worth the 20 days of oil traveling from Strait of Hormuz. तो 20 दिनों के अंदर अंदर if you are not able to crash it back, then the strategic reserves will not be of any use. So from that day onwards to until the next 20 days, remember that there is going to be enough volatility on the oil prices and in fact on the browsers also. अगर ये ईरान के साथ they are not able to bring a solution to this problem. So if ideally the solution comes in next 20 days तो बच गए, नहीं आया तो फिर लग गई. ठीक है. And what was the driver number 3 for yesterday's going up? The VIX crashed 19%. It was down at 18.9. So why was it down? Why was the volatility down? The volatility was down because the fear premium is being sucked out of the market as traders stop expecting a total black swan event. अब ये fear premium क्या होता है? See, premium is the price you pay for for an event to happen. Like अगर आप एक option खरीदते हो तो उसमें premium is a big part. What is the, again, like I explained earlier, premium is the probability of an event happening. तो अगर एक negative event दिखता है तो आपको P पर ज़्यादा premium दिखेगा because the probability of that happening is high. And similarly on a CE. So what happened last week was there was high premium on all PEs. Every PE was overpriced because everybody wanted to buy. सब बोल रहे थे भाई P खरीदते हैं, right? So there was a huge demand, and that's exactly what is called premium. But as soon as the risk fades down, then everybody knows कि भाई अब ये और नीचे नहीं जाएगा. Then people start selling, and as soon as they start selling, the premium comes down, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. The premium came down, and hence the volatility came down. So now, what should be your strategy today? Your strategy today should be that you should feel that it's a cautiously bullish market. Now, the reason it's cautiously bullish market and not entirely bullish, बहुत simple है, because पहला दिन देखा हमने, अभी तक हमें ये नहीं पता कि market wants to ignore this news from Trump or does it want to absorb it and analyze it further. Because इसमें कुछ fundamentally nothing has changed, as I said earlier also. ट्रंप ने कहा वी थिंक द वॉर इज ओवर, लेकिन बॉम्ब तो गिरते रहे, राइट? ईरान सेड वी डोंट वांट पीस, वी डोंट वांट एनी टॉक्स विद यू अंटिल यू स्टॉप बॉम्बिंग अस. ट्रंप ने कहा कि स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज खोल दो सो दैट यू हैव अ बेटर नेगोशिएशन प्लान. ईरान सेज नॉट 1 liter ऑफ ऑयल going to US or Israel is going to pass through Strait of Hormuz. So as you see, there are two different sides, and दोनों में से कोई बात मानने को ready नहीं है. Okay, so it's an important problem, but it has to be solved. Cool. So we have seen a bullish reversal candle, but we are still in the lower high structural formation, which is a technical analysis of the market. But today, what do you do? If you think that you need to buy on every dip, and if the Nifty goes towards say 24,100 or say 24,000, then you can say that that's my base, and if you would like to buy, then you buy from there. But don't buy at the high. Okay? So don't do it, because it can also be a dead cat bounce. I hope you know what a dead cat bounce is. Dead cat bounces ki it's in fake bounce. लगता है कभी कभी कि बहुत ऊपर जाएगा, but it will not go up. ठीक है? So let's now talk about what are the levels that we can expect today. Okay, which is very important because अगर आपने if you manage these levels well, then your investments can actually be fruitful. Otherwise, you may waste your money. So the Nifty pivot points are the support is at 24,100. As we discussed earlier, 24,000 is way too low. 24,100 is a good support. Resistance is 24,450. So yesterday, 24,450 is just slightly above 24,400. And the reason 24,400 was is a resistance is because it was a support earlier. Okay, it was broken through. Bank Nifty, the support is 56,500. Okay, but the resistance is 57,500. Remember, Bank Nifty ka 200-day EMA is 57,400. So if anything above 57,500 means Bank Nifty is back in the bullish territory. Okay, let's talk about the sectors that were the winners yesterday. The winner sectors were auto and aviation, as expected, high input cost because of the oil. Okay, so if the oil prices come down, then obviously these sectors are going to go up. M&M was up 0.34%, iShares was up 0.38%, Indigo was up 0.34, sorry, plus 3.4%. And these are again, like I said, oil sensitive sectors. So इसलिए cheaper crude is equal to higher profits. The sectors that were laggards were the IT sectors, Infosys at minus 1.4%, TCS at minus 0.4%. Obviously, why? It's very simple. Agar dollar weak hota hai, and the IT is considered defensive, and IT is also going through a process which is called jisme AI is an impactful order. So just because we did not speak about AI in last 1 week does not mean AI has not improved. Actually, ChatGPT launched one of their agentic AI models, and seems to be performing really well. So we need to go back into that and see how it's going to impact our IT. So anyways, IT has not been a great sector this year. So let's, I hope if you're investing or thinking of investing in IT, you analyze that decision with a फाइन टूथ कॉम्ब. इसका मतलब है कि अगर आपको आईटी में इन्वेस्ट करने का मन कर रहा है तो प्लीज अपने रिसर्च को 2-4 बार और देखिए कि उसका लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट क्या होने वाला है. ओके, देयर वाज एन आउटलायर केस यस्टरडे व्हिच इज श्रीराम फाइनेंस प्लस 8.05%. क्यों? इट वाज अ स्टैंड आउट लीडर. इंस्टीट्यूशनल बाइंग सजेस्ट कि दे सी अ फ्लोर इन द एनबीएफसी स्पेस. तो एनबीएफसी स्पेस में लोगों को फ्लोर दिख गया. इसका मतलब है कि फ्लोर का मतलब होता है लोअर सीलिंग दिख गई जिसके नीचे वो नहीं जाएगा. ओके, outlier case of losing was Eternal, Zomato, minus 1.25%. So it has underperformed despite the rally. The reason is that it's a high valuation tech is still facing a sanity check. So it is it's already at a very high valuation. So a problem hoti hai for the stock to carry through if the earnings are not supporting. So that's that. Nothing more than that. Okay, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about why you need to be subscribed to this channel and be listening to these 8 a.m. daily calls, because obviously first thing is that you have to be aware कि whenever you make a decision to invest or not invest, you can run it through with some people. अगर आप अकेले सोचोगे तो you'll only get अकेले के answers. Okay, I have been doing it for last 6-7 years. I understand little more about the market. I'm not saying I understand it little more than you, but I understand more than average. तो अगर आपको कुछ thoughts, if you want to run some thoughts by me, pass me, all you have to do is type a comment here, right? Every day I'm live at 9:15 to 12:15, just tracking the market, not giving any stock tips. वो मेरा काम नहीं है, stock tips नहीं दूंगा. तो because obviously SEBI is also very they don't like it. And दूसरी बात ये भी है कि कोई मतलब नहीं है stock tips देने का, because I don't want anybody to get rich रातों रात. मुझे जलन होती है ऐसे लोगों से. ठीक है. So 9:15 to 12:15, if you have any questions, please put in there and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. I have 7-8 questions for today also. अगर आपका question उसमें cover हो जाता है तो please let's forget that. Then the second session is 2:30 to 3:30, which is the when we look at the market and say what is the market going to do tomorrow, and whether the market is going to be a good how is it going to close. So Again, we have 1 hour of that session. Again, it's an intense session. And every morning at 8 a.m., okay, you can expect me here and I will talk about how the market behaved yesterday and what you can expect today. So let's go back. Let's go back to the levels of, let's just revisit before we move on to the questions. Okay. So what was the, uh, so today's uh, uh, supports and resistance for Nifty 50, support at 24,100 and resistance at 24,450. लिख लीजिए इसको या रिवाइंड करके देख लीजिए. Bank Nifty is support at 56,500 and resistance at 57,500. So please remember this. Okay. Today, if you may not see auto and flights go up as high because now the oil prices has not yet improved. ठीक है, तो वो कल का गिर गया था, एक 20% नीचे गिर गया, so that's why those sectors went up. जरूरी नहीं कि आज भी वही हो, because that's not happening. So don't try to repeat yesterday's playbook. Okay, so moving on, I have a few questions, about 7 questions from people. So let me talk about what. Let's just discuss these questions. And in the meantime, if you have questions, please type it here, or you can email it to hey at. Thanks. You can see this. It's here. You can always live in, check in, and then we'll take it out. ठीक है. It's a great morning here in Pune. अभी गर्मी की शुरुआत हो रही है तो पता नहीं चल रहा है, मैं धूप में बैठा हूँ, बट थोड़ी देर के अंदर ही यहाँ पर एक भसड़ गर्मी गिरने वाली है. सो आई होप कि जहाँ पे भी आप हो, इट्स नॉट दैट हॉट. ठीक है. So Arjun का क्वेश्चन था कि he missed out on gap up buy at 9:15. Should I chase Nifty at 24,300 tomorrow? नहीं, 24,300 मत chase करो. As I said, today's support is 24,100. You make sure that you are buying very close to that. मतलब buying at a high is not a recommended idea. There are 2 reasons. One is you are buying at a high. Obviously, जैसे ही market गिरेगा तो you will have to lose money. दूसरी बात यह है कि today's market behavior will be a confirmation for yesterday's green. अगर आज भी green होता है तो कल का green का validation ज़्यादा होगा. So don't think कि कल का green था तो इसलिए आज भी green होगा. Today is just a validation market. ठीक है? So be careful about investing without thinking and wasting your money. So very important. Okay, I hope that was good enough. Second question is by Vikram Kumar. Okay, he says कि ट्रम्प कह रहा है कि वॉर हो गई है, पर मेरी न्यूज़ ऐप में अभी भी आ रही है न्यूज़ कि तेल अवीव में सायरन्स बज रहे हैं. Okay, so basically Vikram is saying कि भाई who do I trust? Okay, whether should I trust Trump for saying what he is saying or should I trust the news app? देखो विक्रम, मेरा एक बहुत सिंपल फंडा होता है, मार्केट हमेशा हर न्यूज़ को प्राइस इन कर लेता है. ठीक है, सो यू शुड ऑलवेज ट्रस्ट द प्राइस. अगर आज कल बोला था उसने तो मार्केट ने उसको पॉजिटिवली रिस्पॉन्ड किया, लेकिन अभी तक सारी न्यूज़ का एक निचोड़ आ गया है. तो अगर आज के दिन में भी मार्केट ग्रीन दिखाता है तो इसका मतलब है कि मार्केट ने पीस को प्राइस इन कर लिया है. ओके, सो अगर ग्रीन दिखता है तो इसका मतलब है यू शुड ट्रस्ट द फैक्ट कि थोड़े दिनों में पीस होने वाला है. लेकिन अगर रेड होता है तो इसका मतलब ये है कि मार्केट ऑल्सो डज नॉट ट्रस्ट द ट्रम्प. ठीक है, सो आप अपना लॉजिक ना लगाएं, बिकॉज दीज आर कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग, बिकॉज ये 2 अलग अलग बातें कर रहे हैं. आप सिर्फ मार्केट को प्राइस एक्शन से इवेल्युएट करें. अगर मार्केट उसकी न्यूज़ को ट्रस्ट करेगा तो वो ग्रीन हो जाएगा, और अगर वो नहीं करेगा तो रेड हो जाएगा. 2 ही आंसर है. लेट्स कीप इट वेरी सिंपल. ठीक है, ग्रेट. ओके, प्रियंका बोल रही हैं कि माई पोर्टफोलियो इज ऑल IT एंड आई एम the only one losing money today. Should I sell my Infi and jump to Tata Motors? So Priyanka, that's a great thought, Priyanka. I know you are feeling a little bit of a pressure because IT is not going up, but you must understand IT ka fundamental has changed because of the introduction of AI. So you cannot think of IT as going to make you any money until the fundamental changes. So if that does not happen, then investing in IT does not make sense. Now, your second part of the question is, should I move my money from IT Infi to Tata Motors? Now, Infi to Tata Motors is not so great transition at this point of time, simply because Tata Motors themselves are not doing well. तो अगर आप Tata Motors के रिजल्ट देखेंगे, you will see that they've been losing market share. Some of their cars are not doing well, some of their models are not doing well. So give it some time, think about it. In the meantime, अगर आपको अच्छा exit मिल जाता है आईटी से, say with your some profit, park it in a liquid fund. वो 7 to 8% वैसे ही आपको दे रहा है जब तक आपको क्लैरिटी आती है. ओके. एंड इस ईयर के इन्वेस्टमेंट आइडियाज में से बैंक्स वर द बेस्ट आइडियाज जो हमने बहुत पहले प्रमोट करे थे ड्यूरिंग जनवरी. तो अगर आपको इफ यू वांट टू, यू कैन गो एंड लिसन टू दैट वीडियो एंड डू योर रिसर्च ऑन बैंक्स एंड सी बैंक्स में इज देयर अ स्पॉट वेयर यू कैन पुट योर मनी इन. ओके, दैट वुड बी माय रिकमेंडेशन. अगेन, इट इज नॉट अ गेट रिच स्कीम, ना कोई स्टॉक के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. सो जस्ट बी वेरी केयरफुल बिफोर यू चूज एनीथिंग. ओके. Rohan is saying Shriram Finance is up 10%. Sorry, it's 8%, Rohan. Is it too late to enter for a long-term pick? It's not late, Rohan. जैसे मैं कह रहा था उस दिन भी कि buy on dips, और dip तो dip होते जाती है, बहुत dip हो जाती है, dip करके बहुत नीचे. उसी तरह sell on highs is also equal to high. It can keep going high. So if the fundamental is high, okay, so then there is no price is right. ठीक है, ये तो हमने देखा ही है. एंड श्रीराम फाइनेंस इज मतलब ऐसे मत सोचो कि कोई भी ये बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर चला गया तो नाउ आई कांट बाय इट. सो आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स अ ग्रेट आइडिया. अगर फंडामेंटल्स आर good as per your understanding, then you must invest and not think the price is really high. Okay, at this point it is anyways not high. Market has been falling for 5 days, so एक दिन का 8% is not equal to बाहर ही निकल गया. Okay, we have 2 more questions. If you have any other questions, okay, great. I have one person writing my question. Okay, Meera is saying कि my PSU stocks have not bounced, जैसे कि private banks है. Should I, क्या is the PSU theme dying? नहीं PSU नहीं, PSU is not dying. Don't think about it like that. It's just a बीटा और स्ट्रक्चरल मूव्स होती हैं मार्केट में और बैंकिंग सेक्टर में. तो वो उसको थोड़ा सा आप रिसर्च करके देख लीजिए कि why are the private banks beta is higher than the PSU banks, and you will realize कि why private banks look so a little bit more lucrative. ठीक है, but does not mean कि one is better than the other. So और ज़्यादा शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए मत सोचो मीरा जी, you will be fine. ठीक है. I have one question, last question. हाँ, वेरी नाइस. तो मार्केट, ये कहते, ईशान कहते हैं कि इफ द मार्केट मूव्स 200 पॉइंट्स इन फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स आफ्टर ओपन, कैन आई सेट अप अ स्टॉप लॉस इन दिस मैडनेस? ईशान, अगर मार्केट 200 पॉइंट्स इन 10 मिनट्स जाता है तो वॉलेटिलिटी विल बी रियली हाई. इट विल probably touch 20%. It will become very high. So in my opinion is कि in such situations, it can move aggressively in any one direction. Okay, so instead of doing stop losses, do a trailing stop. तो ट्रेलिंग स्टॉप का मतलब होता है कि जितना वो ऊपर जाएगा आप उसके पीछे उसको ट्रेल करो with 5% or whatever, instead of doing a stop loss. Because stop loss में क्या होता है कि it is fixed, and if the market goes up another 200 points, तो आप नीचे ही रह जाओगे. तो you should just keep trailing it by say 5%. That's a smarter move. Okay, so it's not necessarily कि आप ये you do a stop loss. I think the better move today's market would be a trailing stop loss. So that's great. I think so I have so we've done 25 minutes of this, so and it's great to have so many of you on board here. So I hope things I hope I was able to make some things clear to you about the market. And if you have any questions, just drop in a text or drop in a line, and I will be more than happy to answer you. Have a great day, each one of you, and thanks a lot for logging in. See you, alvida, and see you at 9:50. Dhanyawad. Bye-bye.